Another major story today. A historic Cleveland church went up in flames overnight. The Euclid Avenue Congregation Church of the United Church of Christ is gone. News Channel 5 anchor Leon Bibb is live on the scene now. And Leon, this fire is just a major loss to the city. What a beautiful church. And of course, covering this story today is very personal to you.
It has been a difficult job trying to cover this story today because that's my church across the street. That's where my wife and I hold membership. I'm standing at the corner of Euclid Avenue and East 96th Street, immediately next door to Cleveland Clinic, right outside the Euclid Avenue Congregational Church. It is a big loss any way you look at it. This church was struck by fire of unknown cause. Officially right now, but struck by fire after the midnight hour. It was a fierce fire, and there are still hot spots on the fire. You can see Cleveland firefighters are still pouring on water into the old edifice. All that is left is a shell, and that is unsteady itself. Well, Dan Haggerty has been covering this story. He's been here all morning long, and I'll be back in just a moment with some personal thoughts on all that's happened. But Dan, I know you've been with it all morning long, and I'll let you tell us what you found.
Thanks, Leon, and how sturdy those walls are. It's actually one of the big questions right now, along with what started this fire. Obviously, investigators haven't had a chance to go in yet, with firefighters still working. But one of the causes, one of the things that people were talking about this morning was that lightning possibly struck the top of the church and started this fire. How it started, though, not really important right now. What's important is the cleanup effort that's going on with those walls still unsturdy. While this thing was going, though, our cameras were rolling. Take a look.
The smoke makes the damage difficult to take in. Firefighters worked for hours since midnight to put out the flames, while some of the more than 200 church members and passerbys snap pictures of what's left. A church more than 120 years old, destroyed in just moments. Workers from the Cleveland Clinic watched the familiar site burn from nearby windows covered in soot, an area the hospital quickly evacuated. While the flames grew, the distance to adjacent buildings shrank. Clinic workers had to move 8 patients after smoke rolled in through the ventilation system of 2 of its buildings. Luckily, no one was hurt, though the walls of the church started to crumble while firefighters sprayed them down.
And now the question, how are firefighters going to be able to investigate this? Right now, they're still waiting to see how sturdy those walls are going to be. They have parts of Euclid Avenue closed. They want to make sure that nobody is near this thing because of how unsturdy it is. They want to know if possibly it might be easier to just come in, use a destruction crew, and tear it down to the ground. But nothing easy about this with the community involved or with the people from this church, and that's why I'm